the homies.
Yeah, a lot of people that put in some work to this event, whether it's lighting equipment, like the homies from LI. Shout out to them.
I mean, you love to see it, right? The Splatoon community, just every time something like this happens, people will just come out of the woodwork trying to help.
And it looks like our game's about to start here between Snail Stands and Holland Goats. Game one, like I was kind of saying, Holland Goats, I think most of these members were here at the last Big Dapple Dragoncraft. I know we're on a team together. And
they did really well?
Yeah, they made top 8. Snail Stands, I'm not sure.
I mean, we saw them do well.
Yeah,
so.
We saw them do well here. I don't know if they were here last time, but we know they have what it takes to take some games.
So we have evidence of goodness.
We have evidence of goodness on both of these teams, and I think it should be a great set. Should be starting very shortly. They are in the lobby. The timer's ticking.
Oh yeah, they're just picking weapons right now. Oh, that's some spice.
You see some interesting stuff.
Everybody got quiet. don't listen. I'm not going to say weapons I saw now.
No spoilers. Well, we can look at these maps. Oh, we're going back to Scorch. Oh, I think these are outdated maps. I think these are the maps from last set.
Well, either we're about to see this or about to see something else.
I think it's going to be something else.
Yeah.
Full of surprises, you know.
It's cool.
Yeah, it should be
our,
a really
our
good
main
set.
man behind the curtain, our Wizard of Oz, which is like, oops, yeah, wrong maps. Cool. All right, looks like someone's having a little trouble getting in the lobby, so might take a second to get this started. So, just kidding, everything got fixed. In fact, the audio equipment got so intimidated by me saying that it was misbehaving that it started behaving.
It just straightened right up.
Yeah, well, I mean, old people like me can just like make eye contact with technology or just kind of slam it with your fist on top and it starts working. But unfortunately, everyone younger than me, you have to actually troubleshoot.
Yeah. I mean, they need boomers. Boomers need one way to figure things out, right?
Hey, my splash tag is Sleepy Grandpa for a reason.
Well, here we are. We are on, what is this?
This is Hagglefish.
Oh.
Can you not tell?
I'm honestly really bad at that. Getting exposed as being a noob.
It's cool. I'm really bad at at the end of a turf war match telling which team had more ink. I get it wrong every time.
Me too. But here we go. Tower Control Hagglefish is a very interesting map. Kind of that linear mid area, but then we have the two side avenues that always, whichever team flanks better, kind of.
It's got the spirit of the Scorched Gorge that we were playing earlier, but a different game mode.
2v2 situation early on here, so these teams evenly matched so far in this early going. We'll see who ends up coming on top.
Kraft might end up getting punished for it. Yep, didn't back up. That's a two squad force on the tower right here. We're starting to push up. And here comes the Inkzuka. So this I don't think is going to get any picks, but it is going to push the spawning enemies back long enough for the rest of Snail Stands to get in position. And it looks like they're in a pretty good position. Here's another special going off. Unfortunately, one of those tri-strike shots didn't quite hit their mark, and some teammates are going down. So I think this is going to be the end of the aggression for now, but this is a pretty good start, and as long as they can do what they were doing earlier, back up, don't fully wipe, bend, don't break, they should be able to get some more momentum going, or at least be in position to stop too much aggression from coming out of Holland Goats right now.
Yeah.
But I would like to see how Holland Goats is able to kind of put together some game-winning pushes. If they have this good record from the other matches that we didn't see off stream, I kind of want to see why, show me.
Yeah, I mean, so far, Snail Stands is at least doing a good job of, they didn't let Holland Goats, get a lot of control off
As you tried to say
retake,
something.
But yeah, good job from Holland Goats, just kind of winning their fights on the side there. Both teams kind of abandoned mid, which is really funny, and kind of let war break out on the sides. But it ended up in Holland Goats' favor, and Kraft with a big pick with the squeezer.
This is kind of a scary position for the squeezer to be in. I mean, you have all that range. It's just like these people playing shorter range weapons can't peek on you, but get close enough for the tri-slasher to fight back against the squeezer. You're going to get shot back at. But look at the objective play right now. We got it to 51, and that is going to be effectively a wipe for Holland Goats. So not the biggest push ever, but yes, they say we can get pushes going, and we're going to see more in this set.
Definitely a great push. I mean, maybe got called out getting a little too aggressive, dying one by one there, and not able to get on the time. But I mean, the lead is the lead, and we're going to see if they're able to hang on to it. The specials coming out from Snail Stands, and that Tri-Zuka, which we've seen from this team back in round one. I mentioned that Tri-Zuka always feeling like it's going to get a double. Another one right on display there, and they have so much space in front of the tower right now. They need to watch this top right side though to keep this objective safe. But they're right about to get this lead, and they do have it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between that first push, the Zuka just being used to kind of delay the enemy spawn, versus using the Tri-Zuka to get those pushes, and they're able to take the lead off that. So 40 points, not the craziest lead ever, but this is looking pretty good. I mean, it's looking pretty competitive so far, to be honest.
Yeah,
this game's pretty good so
back
far.
and forth, back and forth. You can already see another 3v3 situation developing.
Ooh, that Zuka almost got picked.
It's at least going to stop them and scare them from getting back into mid.
Yeah.
Give Snail stands a lot of room to breathe here, kind of stall out the time. They do have the lead, so stalling out is in their favor.
I mean, they're going to have another ready by the time that well, I mean, unless they can take it out like that. But I mean, you know, being able to use your special that far before like important engagements happens means you can kind of like time it to have another one later.
And
so,
right now, Holland Goats is being forced to use specials just to get some semblance of mid control. They're not even able to kind of get through mid before they're able to get a push going. So that's really in Snail Stand's favor if they're able to force Holland Goats to have to do that. It's going to limit their ability to push as far. And 40 might not be the biggest lead, but when you have to play it that way, it can be really intimidating.
Yeah, especially when you have, like, you know, RC being able to get these picks at mid. It's like, oh, we got a situation in our favor finally against these guys. Then, oh, one of us go down. We have to wait again. We have to wait again. Now you get to this kind of situation. There's only a minute left, and you have to make this push happen. So I don't know how they're going to start the push because Snail Stands has already started one of their own.
Yeah, and the tactical did come out from Snail Stands. That means even if this push dies short, they'll at least have some quick
Immediately
respawn,
back in position. Yep.
and able to contest. And there's only 40 seconds left, so when you're able to get back that fast, they're able to contest. It's going to be really hard for any push here to get started for Holland Goats.
Yeah, Holland Goats is going to need to make something happen right now. Fortunately, this wave breaker is not ready yet. I don't really know if anyone's in position to have a special that's going to stop this aggression working if they can make it happen, but they're having trouble making it happen. We have some members of Holland Goats over to the left trying to like make some headway on one of the flanks, getting watched. Just can't really make that happen. They do have the tower. They have to control the tower now because they have to. They know they have to make this push. Overtime's about to start. Now we see a pick and another pick going down. A crab going to be able to stall aggression, but again, we don't want to see stalling to have this game-winning push happen. We need to actually be a little bit more patient with those specials, move forward, and then be in position to get picks with them with the game-winning push happen.
Right now, the tower's under a lot of pressure. Nobody watching that top right side, and they're able to just push the one person on tower off, drop on, and free objective. And you're in overtime. You can't afford that kind of mistake. Snail Stands recognize the situation.
Yeah, imagine if there was a crab up there.
Exactly.
Instead. So
I mean,
it's cool. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, Snail Stands did a great job forcing those specials to come out early, maybe not letting Holland Goats, get comfortable enough, get far enough in the map where they're able to pop those specials at a better time to actually further those pushes. Like we kind of mentioned earlier, when you have to use special to start a push, how are you going to extend that push? And
you
just got caught out.
I mean, the options are either A, you as a squad have a lot of specials, so like you're allowed to just pop the first one to kind of crack open the defenses, and then once you've progressed, use another special, or you just need to get good old-fashioned picks, and that isn't the kind of thing that you want to have wait until you have the game. So really nice game one from Snail Stands. I mean, good from Holland Goats as well. I think that both teams showed the capacity to make wins happen. So let's. I mean, Swiss is often a bunch of 3-0s, but let's.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it was pretty back and forth, and the score was not a big difference. It was 40-48, but it kind of felt like Snail Stands just controlled the map for longer. And
they kind of
just had a little bit less of an opportunity.
They didn't really budge for too long, and then Holland Goats kind of started like hurting themselves, push up against it. I don't know. This metaphor is not going the right direction. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
They weren't able to kind of have that endurance to keep it up long enough to just break through that defense.
Yeah, they never really had one.
I mean, they had one push at the beginning, and then they had trouble kind of making it happen.
They never really had one big opening where they were able to kind of solidly take map control. It always felt like they were going to lose one before they really started their push, or have to burn a special, or losing some kind of tool to where they can't put them all together.
Yeah, I kind of noticed like what you were talking about, how like both teams kind of seem to just get stuck on the sides of the map. I think like that happened like once or twice, and then Snail Stands stopped.
Yeah.
Like kind of like trapping themselves in that kind of like
on holding mid,
situation. They did focus on holding mid. And I think Holland Goats might need to kind of like swap up their kind of strategy. Like if you're going to use a special to get things started, just punch through mid instead of trying to punch through like the sides or kind of. I think it's going to be a different map mode right now. We are hopping into Rainmaker on Eeltail. I mean, people aren't going to like this. I think this is like my favorite map in this game. It's cool. My favorite map in Splat 1 was Camp Triggerfish, so I have bad taste.
Well, pretty similar teams here, although the brush coming out from Snail stands, and actually
Machine has a lot of potential here too.
Yeah, Machine is really good here. I've gotten so much mileage myself from Machine in the past year. And
there's so many angles where you just do the unfair Machine thing.
And 52 as well. I mean, the wall, there's like certain parts of the map where if you put a wall up, there's not really a good way around it. And Whale can also cause a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, this map is both choke pointy and really varied in your approach options at the same time. So it's like
it's like linear in certain ways, but in other ways,
it feels like a traditional first-person shooter map.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, a couple picks coming out here from Hall and Goats, and the Slushy Machine's going to pick up the Rainmaker, and we're going to see if they're able to create space here for themselves. You do have that Ink Strike, and then Whale coming out as well. That's a lot of pressure. It's going to lead to an easy checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a different look than what we've seen in that last match. Already to the checkpoint. I think that they might need to kind of focus on not dying to this Inkzuka for a little bit, and now they can go for this pop. Yep, there we go.
The Tax Cooler under effect for Snail Sands, so they can afford to dive a bit here, try to put some more pressure on Hall and Goats, knowing that they'll have that quick respawn under effect. And we do see Hall and Goats does fall back a bit. Yeah. They're playing a lot of patience on this play.
Well, they kind of have to, because like the Tri-Slasher in that position, you can't really punish it because there's no backline. You usually have a backline kind of like on this bridge area that can like kind of stop anybody from being able to use a splash damage weapon down to that Rainmaker area. So maybe we'll see Hall and Goats make a right side push. Maybe not now, but later in the game when they're in a similar situation.
Unfortunately, Hall and Goat's teammates kind of getting taken away from the Rainmaker there, allowing the objective to be stopped pretty easily. Although it is a 2v2 situation, so Snail Sands not going to be able to actually get that map control back.
Yeah, I mean, we're once again in the same position where Hall and Goats is able to kind of take the Rainmaker and get some pick. Oh, as I say this, a lot of defensive kills and then a lot of counter picks. Yeah. So this is still a slobber knocker right now. But no points being gained by either team, but I mean, I think
pressure from this Rainmaker is allowing Hall and Goats teammates to jump back in, and look, they still have all this control.
And now they're going to move it right, exactly.
And this is a great position. I love this. So the Whale coming out as well from both teams, actually. You do see one above the Rainmaker, but he's able to just get past. Trey sneaking by that barrage of ink brushing from the top.
Get as many points as you can. I mean, 39 is not like, near knockout potential, obviously, but this is a pretty good lead. And if this pressure continues, I think they'll be able to get even more points, which they do.
I mean, great awareness of Kraft there. 3 teammates go down, but Kraft sees that one opening, and your option is either back up and let the other team take all that control. But if I can grab a Rainmaker and get more points, I'm just going to go and do it. Why not?
Yeah,
all the way to 28, and that's going to make it so hard when Snail Sands doesn't even have points on the board yet.
That's what they say, making sure that this respawn has value. There's a lot of value pushed to 28.
Exactly.
What I wonder, so I wonder if Snail Sands is going to get a push up to left, and if the Machine is going to be in that same kind of position as the Tri-Slasher and stop the counter push from happening here in probably an overtime situation. Yeah. I'm curious if maybe they won't realize that that's the dynamic without a backline and kind of not go right. Or if they're pushing the first.
The Machine is down right now. Snail Sands finally going to pick up the Rainmaker first time here. We do see the Trizuka come out, gets a pick. Actually, 3 down for Hall and Goats, but the Rainmaker is stopped before he can get to that checkpoint.
Yeah, not being able to get to the checkpoint with a minute 25 left is pretty rough. Because like we've said, without a backline, both teams kind of get in there.
I think that was a bomb stopping the checkpoint that time. Just in the...
Oh,
they didn't know! They didn't know that they did not break the checkpoint because it was like while the swinging animation was happening. It was like the perfect timing to where they must have just not even realized it was like a fraction of a second difference.
Well, we have a DC. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I don't know if that was like a bang the table moment or some technical issue. I don't know what the TOs are going to do about it.
There's a lot of shenanigans going on.
There's a lot of shenanigans going on.
The tensions are high.
See what the people who make decisions end up saying, but this looks like this game is going to Hall and Goats as is.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, it will probably, if my TO brain tells me it's probably too late in that game to where
exactly.
It's just going to be like an unlucky situation, but especially depending on why that disconnect happened. But I mean, wow, that game was very close up until that moment, and it's just that one blunder where it's like, wow, we kind of sealed the door on ourselves, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was going to see it this weekend, but I saw it this weekend. Trey here just making sure the Rainmaker's in this forward position. What Snail Stand's going to do, 3v4, unfortunately, another wipe. They're doing their best, but it looks like we're going to go to a game 3 or not. I'm not the one who makes that. I like how Slimy's immediately looking around, being like, "Where's the TO?" I have an opinion. I have an opinion. It must be known.
Pico's up there, discerning and observing the situation.
Yeah, I mean, Pico's been putting in work all weekend. Let's get. I know everyone at the venue knows what a good job Pico's been doing, but for y'all at home, trust us when we say Pico's.
Our
Pico's
TOs
been carrying
are on
hard.
it. All of our TOs have been putting in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just leading up to the event. I know that they were here up early in the morning. I think I know like Jason came up, left his house at 8 to come here and set up. Doors didn't even open till 2. He left his home at 8.
Yeah, I got here
setting up at like 10 in the morning.
I got here at like 11, I think, and like so much stuff was already done. I was like, "Come on, guys, I'm here to help you. You got to give me something to help us."
They are hard workers. So
yeah, But to be fair, there were enough technical difficulties in getting everything set up that we ended up having to work a little bit more. But yeah, no, everybody's working really hard. I mean, we have a passionate community that they really, they see these opportunities as to make, the game that they love and the community they love, like really be able to have that fun, have the experience that they want to. So that it's just natural. Every single time we have one of these events, there are just people coming out of the woodwork to help. Everybody's just great. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, I mean, everyone comes together, and all with the goal of just having a good time, playing this game, and we'll see funny situations like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll have to make the most of it. But
spicy situation.
That's what happens when the tensions are running high, the passion is there.
So it looks like our TOs are informing our stream crew as to what the status of the game is. Are we going to game 3? Are we replaying game 2? Did Snails get that win? I'm assuming that Snails got the W. Like you said, my TO brain.
So it'd actually be a tie.
Oh, Hall of Goats. Yeah, sorry. Hall of Goats would have got W, so it would be a tie up. That is also my TO brain saying, like, nah, you guys DC'd in the 4-minute mark. It's just maybe sometimes people have a different expectation.
I think it does look like it's going to be 1-1. I just saw the finger pointing where it was
1-1. Yeah, somebody.
So yeah, our first tie set here, first true game 3.
Yes, first true game. I mean, hey, I will take the true game 3 with the two teams that are doing really well.
I mean, they've been neck and neck. I mean, until that DC obviously, but other than I mean, that last game was really
that last game. I do think that was in Hall and Goats courts. I mean, they were.
If it wasn't for I forgot the checkpoint. Yeah. Then that's getting down to the wire too. And you never know what would have happened.
That fourth person could have done. Yeah, that is true.
You never know what would have happened. It's just a woulda, coulda.
Yeah, that is actually a little bit closer than I perceived it to be. But it's just
even then, it's going to be a whole new game. Both of these teams proving that they have what it takes to figure each other out, adapt to each other, and make those.
And we get to go back to Scorch Gorge, so like we'll have a little bit more of an informed kind of perspective of what to expect here. I mean, we saw like that
Clan Blitz, which is very interesting on Scorch.
Yeah, I mean, this is the game mode that you said, hey, I want to see the game modes on Scorch where like the bases get utilized, and we are back to the other one, so it's going to be Clams. I want to see that kind of evolution, like because both sets that we saw before had a lot of these like real defensive plays without like the biggest game-winning pushes. So, I mean, Snail stands. While obviously they were doing a better job of it than their opponents in the match we saw, I do think that I would like to see that kind of like evolution. So this is the last chance, game 3. This is probably going to make a big difference when it comes to seeding.
I'm looking over at the setup. There was another disconnect.
Yeah. Gotcha. The disconnected player needs to get back in.
So still have a minute to go here. But yeah, I think that it's going to be really interesting to see how these teams play. Because the last time we saw Scorch Gorge, it was kind of very defensive. But on Clan Blitz, you can either choose to really kind of be very defensive, kind of go for those little pushes, build your lead, kind of time over time. Because obviously Clan Blitz is not one of those ones where you're going for one big push necessarily, but you're building out a score constantly.
Clan Blitz usually takes like 2 or 3 really solid pushes to like get the scoreboard to the point that you need it to be.
But at the same time, if you're willing to try to go all in, try to dive, and try to get as many points to the board as once, because you're getting all those points without a penalty, that could be insurmountable. It could be an insurmountable lead.
Yeah, it is Splatoon, right? If you're able to.
It's like it's an interesting dynamic that I think is kind of underrated part of Clan Blitz. That you have that options for those different strategies. Whether you want to play more stall-y defensively, build that lead little by little, if you want to go for more dive pushes.
Yeah, like as far as like scoring goes, Clan Blitz feels the most like kind of like a traditional shooter, right? Like because like Splatoon, instead of it being like, oh, we're playing capture the flag, it's the first team to 3 points wins kind of thing. It's like either you just straight up knock out the game, or the team that made the best like flag capture attempt ends up winning. So it's just one moment in the game that gets built up towards that ends up being the game-winning push that gets set up, whereas the Clan Blitz kind of does require multiple of those. It's more cumulative than the other modes are.
Like
so
really, like your whole game matters. Those little pushes add up. The big pushes add up, obviously. And you know those situations. You know, if you're reacting correctly to a push, you know, you might shut it down. Even if you get one power clam in, if you can react and you can limit it to that one power clam, that could go a long way.
That one power clam, that 20 points is a lot, but like it needs to be part of like a great whole. Because like if you get like a good like 30, 35 points in plus the power clam, that's big points. Anyway, enough talking. Let's start watching.
This is a true game 3, one-on-one set here. So the winner is obviously going to move on to bracket with a higher seed. I think both these teams will move on a bracket. I'm not sure the exact format.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they probably will both make top 8. But
these were the 2 and 3 seeds in the pool going into the tournament.
Gotcha.
Should be a great competition here. One pick down already on Hall and Goat's side. Booyah Bomb coming out, or whatever special Heavy has. What special does Heavy have?
Heavy has the Wave Breaker.
Wave Breaker. Yeah. I'm silly.
It's all right. I won't tell anyone.
Thank you.
Chat might.
But counter picks coming out from Hall and Goats, and Kraft pushing up on that one member alone. Cigarettes
here we go.
On the side to pick up that try, that kind of relay, and you see the passing clams here to build this biggest push possible.
Cigarettes at the classic, or I think it was Kraft at the classic. It's like, all right, cool, time to play objective. And wait, where'd the... Okay. There's no clams.
Whenever I see someone miss a football throw, it's always like, what's going to happen next? It's like everything freezes for a second, and you're like, did we just throw away our push? But they did not throw away this push. They are continuing to put on the pressure, get these picks.
Yeah,
that was another 2-down situation.
Is what's going to happen.
And they look like they're far from done. If they have, I think they have at least one member in the back collecting clams right now. We see even getting the clams from
no special. Okay, I think this might be what has been a very solid first push, all the way down to 44. And you know, Snail Sands are going to be able to kind of take back the map and assumedly get a lot of clams for this counter push. So I want to see what Hall and Goat's defense looks like. Notably, they do have a heavy splatling. We saw no backline last time.
For the last 2 games.
Yeah, for the last 2 games. So they have like that kind of like the splat 1 feeling kind of comp, where it's just these support weapon, 2 shooters, and a heavy.
Yep, exactly, and that could be a big adjustment. We haven't seen it all set, and especially on a map like Scorch Gorge, where that heavy can usually have a lot of room to.
Especially when you have no backline. I mean, we talked earlier about how, like, you know, the nightmare situation for a splatling is to have a really good charger on the enemy team. Not happening now, so they get to play an abusive way, and there's really no inherent thing stopping them.
Yeah. And we see Mike doing a big job here, just juggling clams, trying to get as many clams as possible. Of course, he still stands to hold on to. And then a big Trizuka from Firewave here, as we see constantly from this player. It's a 3v2 situation. Again, past the clams. They do manage to get one in, but are they going to be able to continue this push? We see another player from the side, but unfortunately, doing it alone, they were not able to break through.
Not quite perfectly coordinated. I think that there was a little bit of jumping on the gun there. I think that you needed to get some picks before you play objective.
But
Slay first, then objective.
Mike doing a great job holding that position, getting those couple picks, and that's going to keep
map control in their favor. Yeah.
C-Still Stands is going to stay kind of with the opportunity to keep building their clam economy, as I like to say, and keep the pressure on.
Whatever you say, nerd.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tri-Strike trying to crack open the defenses of Hall and Goats, but no one going down front. We have the Whale ready from the 52. Not going to be necessarily the most impactful special by itself. It does need a little bit of teamwork and support to really make something happen. But speaking of teamwork and support, they're jumping down at this point. Yeah, okay, there we go. I mean, this is kind of big. Those Trizukas have been kind of the bane of Hall and Goats' existence so far this game. So the fact that they were able to make sure that special is not going to be able to make anything happen the next like 30 seconds or so is pretty big.
Yeah, and we see a lot of blooming down on the ground here for Fallen Goats. They have a lot of room to work. That wave breaker is going to put pressure on Snail Stand's side, but they did lose one member to a bomb here, so this push is going to slow down a little bit. Dre just kind of playing back at the heavy, going to try to pick out this Trizuka, but pushed back by the Pink Strike. And again, it's kind of Snail Stands responding with pressure of their own.
Yeah, I mean, Snail Stands, they're responding with like good pressure and good decision making for like the individual moments that they find themselves in. But I mean, look at the score. They need to make this game-winning push happen.
Yeah.
You know, playing that neutral and mid like we talked about earlier, you need to actually go to the next step. You need to adjust the next step. They're not quite doing it right now. They got a minute left to figure it out.
And I think Holland Goats showing a great awareness of the situation. They kind of understand that they had that one big push at the beginning of the game, and especially having this heavy in the backline, they know that they can kind of afford to back up and just kind of play it more defensively.
They can change their objective from being like, we need to push the basket, to being like, we need to push their side of mid, right? Get those picks, get map control, but don't necessarily, you know, do anything too risky afterwards. If situations like this arise where you get some picks, and because we've been slowly pushing forward, we can go play objective, you can get this kind of push that just basically is insurance for your lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it could even turn into a knockout. I mean, we've only got 19 seconds left. They don't need to do anything too crazy, but they're pushing in. They're going to keep the pressure on because why not? The more time you spend here in their base, the less time they're going to have to perform a counter push.
You have one overtime to make 90 points. Good luck, Snail Stands. We've been fans of you so far. We've been stands, but this is a pretty tall order.
This is going to be very difficult. I mean, they're going to have to basically have a perfect, I mean, not just one wipeout, but they might need 2 or 3.
They're going through the same motions. They start out with that Trizuka to try to like move people out of position. We have a trade in mid, not what you want to see. 3v2 is what you want to see, though. So if they're able to kind of make this push happen, we see people buy the basket and
not able to get the football in time.
Yeah, they were able to get the bubble in position. They were able to go for it, but time ran out.
Yeah, and I mean that develops when Holland Goats is able to push so far into their spawn, and they made that push at the perfect time to where it was like right when overtime started. That Snail Stands was still coming out of their spawn when overtime, the timer was already going. So all the pressure on the clock.